So I did some research into not South West Water, but obviously water services as a whole. And I suppose there are certain rules and regulations that South West Water have to adhere to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm quite concerned about maybe the content of what's in my water, because I use a water filter, you see. I'm glad that I do, because the water that comes out of my tap isn't, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. I'd probably wash up with it and stuff. So I had some concerns, and so I wrote a letter to South West Water. Is that on the system?
Yeah, I was just having a look at the reply, actually. I haven't seen the letter you wrote in yet.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, it was hilarious.
I'll have to search for that then.
Yeah, it's worth it. No, it's because I was asking the question that, where does South West Water get its water from?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the answer to that question? Well, the answer that your colleagues told me was reservoirs.
Yeah.
But where does the reservoirs get the water from?
I don't know.
Well, they get it from the sky, doesn't it? It falls from the sky, Even this year alone, with our massive floods and all this rain, and yet we're paying for the nose, literally through the nose, for it to be pumped into our properties, using a system that's been there for hundreds of years, which has already been paid for 10 times over.
Doesn't quite just get pumped into your house, though.
Well, I appreciate that there's a certain process the water that has got to go through, but the thing is, my perspective is, surely the water that falls out the sky is less polluted than that comes through my tap. So therefore, if I collected rainwater that comes out of the sky for free, and I used that for my purposes, whether it be wash my pots and pans, wash myself, make a cup of tea, etc., then surely I won't have to spend any money or pay anything to South West Water if I'm using that rainwater. And also, in my perspective, it's fresher, it's cleaner, it's got less chemicals in it, because the stuff that comes out through the tap has got all sorts of stuff, fluoride, chloride, etc.
The stuff that falls from the sky is not actually that good for you.
How do you know that? And why isn't it? Why is it less good for me than something that's been gone through a treatment plant, had chemicals put in it? That's my point. I'm kind of waking up to the fact, hold on a minute, all this water is falling from the sky for free, and then I've got a private company who's collecting it, treating it, putting some chemicals in it, and putting it through a system that already exists, that they don't own, they maintain. Yeah? So, my point is to South West Water is that surely the right to fresh water in a developed country, which is hopefully where we are, should be a right, not a kind of, you've got to pay for it. It should be a right.
Okay.
Because you need water, don't you? If you don't have water, you die.
Yeah,
so therefore it's a necessity. And I think under European law, I'm not sure if this is correct, but you might know that they can't cut you off anymore because it's an essential resource. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So therefore, if you can't cut me off, I'm throwing my arms up in the air now. If you can't cut me off and it's falling from the sky, and I suppose if I was going to say to South West Water, can you prove that you own the water that's coming through my tap? Probably the answer to that is no. Yeah. So then I start to think, why am I paying the bill at all? I'm not having a go at you personally. Please, just raising the question.
Right.
Have I got a fair point?
Kind of. However, if you collected all the water that fell out of the sky, say you did, and you didn't have a water supply, what would you do about your sewage?
Well, I'd get rid of it in the best and hygienic way possible.
It's a lot to get rid of, and I don't think you'd be able to collect enough water from the sky to live on, really.
Really? Oh, come on! What, with all that stuff that's fallen in the last 8 weeks?
What would you do in the summer?
Use the rainwater that I collected in the winter. It just seems amazing that you can't cut me off, right? So therefore, if you can't cut me off under European law, which you've admitted to, which is correct, yeah?
Yeah.
Then why am I paying?
You're goddamn right.
You know what I mean? It's like saying, oh, there's a tap here. It's there when you need it. Yeah, it's an essential resource for life. We've established that. So you die if you don't have it. And yet I'm being charged for it. So I could go to the supermarket and buy bottled stuff. You know, yes, it might be a bit more expensive and cumbersome and energy-wise. So my point is to South West Water is that I would love the opportunity to come in up to Exeter and have a sit-down natter with yourself or one of your colleagues or maybe even the boss and get it from them, for them to justify to me why I should continue to pay when we've established that there's chemicals in the water that shouldn't be there and that the water hasn't been tested. We've established that you can't cut me off. We've established that I'm collecting rainwater. Is it illegal to collect rainwater?
No.
It is in America.
I do have to disagree with you that the chemicals shouldn't be in the water.
Have you been involved with the testing of water that's come out of South West Water taps?
Not personally, but they do comply to the whole, DEFRA thing about chemicals in the water.
So if I request that I'm not paying another penny to South West Water until they can prove that the water that's coming through my tap has got no chloride or fluoride in it.
It has naturally occurring levels of fluoride in it.
Naturally occurring?
Yeah, naturally occurring levels of fluoride, and it's below
Where do they naturally occur?
milligrams per litre. It's not added to the water supply.
But what about the other stuff that's added?
I'm not sure about any other stuff.
Well, I want to be sure about what's coming through my tap and what I'm giving myself and my 4-year-old daughter.
You can request somebody to come and test the water for you?
From South West Water?
Yeah.
For free?
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be a start. I would love to know what is in my water.
You can ask. You need to speak to our services department. And
Can't you put a request in on behalf of this conversation?
I can't put a request in, I'm afraid, no.
Which department do you work in?
I work in collections, credit management.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry. You phoned up and asked me to pay some money today, then?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were like customer service or...
No, I just collect money.
Did you know that money's not real? Did you?
How do you mean?
Well, money's not backed by anything, is it? Money used to be promissory notes, which are promise notes, which is what it says on your notes. It says, I promise to pay the bearer of.
Yeah.
If you take that to the Bank of England, like a £20 note, a purple one, do you know what they'll do?
No.
They'll give you another one.
Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is, that's where money came from. People gave the gold to the bank and they gave them bits of paper in exchange to the value of the gold.
Yeah.
But then there was not enough gold to go around, and that's why if there's a run on the bank today, the bank has only got 8% of the money that it claims to have. So if everybody went to, say, Halifax this afternoon and went to withdraw all their funds from all their accounts, the Halifax would implode because it only holds about 8% of the money that it says on the screen.
Yeah.
So therefore it's not real, is it?
No.
No, it's not real. So you're collecting something that's not real. I'm collecting water that falls out of the sky that I can drink and I can wash with. Now that's real.
Yeah, it's really not very healthy.
Yeah, well, no, I would like to challenge my collected rainwater with that tested by South West Water at my property. Do you know that if your water that you supply me has got chemicals in that, like arsenic, that could kill me, I can't sue South West Water. Did you know that?
No.
There's government legislation in place that states if the water is polluted, whether it's the water company's fault, they can't face legal action from the public. So you're not even liable if the water that you're supplying me has got chemicals in it. How nuts is that? I'm sorry to kind of maybe blow your mind on a Monday morning, but I don't know what you can do. Going back to the point about my account, put me on pause, say that I want to have the water tested before I pay any money, put me as a non-conformist. I don't know. Say that this person is collecting his own rainwater and is only using the water on his dishwasher to wash his clothes.
Okay, Obviously, I'll write down everything you said today. It'll probably take me a while.
Have you come across anybody else, such as myself, who's on a similar vein of saying, hold on a minute, you know? Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. It's good not to know that I'm not alone. And you know, the other question I have is then, can I have another water supplier?
No.
Right, so I'm screwed. So I'm monopolised.
Yes.
Oh, great. So it's no wonder you can't cut me off and there's no contract. Going back to the point, it's been lovely speaking to you, and I've really enjoyed our call, but I'm not sure how to end, really. I'm not going to break out in song or anything.
Oh, go on.
No, really. Don't Google me.
Google you.
Don't Google me. No, you'll be surprised.
I might have to.
Yeah, I think you might. All right, you take care. You have a lovely day.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, Claire from Southwest Water now is semi-awake. Good day, Claire. Peace.
Your call is in a queue and will be answered when an advisor is available. Please continue to hold.